Dear brothers, happy Monday, boys. This seems like a hell of a week to get after it. The eyeball is feeling a little bit better this morning. Still a little bit sensitive. Doesn't love light a ton. Still sore and what have you, but eon's better. We're on the mend. So let's get after it today. Might as well. I've had some really brilliant conversations recently with some buddies and come across some stuff on the interwebs and reading through my Bible a little bit, and this idea has kind of struck a nerve with me that I don't want to chat through today. And that is this idea that a lot of us love to talking about, which is leveling up as men. And this idea of becoming step by step better than we were before, be it in business, at the gym, in jiu-jitsu, as a husband, as a father. We're always looking to make some form of improvement, to level up, if you will. The interesting irony expressed through this is that we would expect life to get easier as we go up in levels, as we make this next progression. And, each level being a representation of a more easy existence. And I think that this can get a little bit convoluted because most of the time when we talk about this, there is some truth in the fact that, for instance, it's far easier for me to buy groceries today than it was 10 years ago when I was a broke kid in undergrad. It's easier for me to pay bills. It's easier for me to, from a financial perspective, my life just is a bit better. I'm not dirt poor. Now, it took effort to get to that point, and I did have to level up in a way to get there, but strictly by the fact that I'm not just in school and I'm working full-time or what have you, did, life get a little bit easier. So, nonetheless, outside of that, leveling up is kind of a nasty business. I don't mean nasty in the sense that it's bad, but nasty in the sense of the hardiness it requires. You have to be willing to get in the dirt and muck, and sometimes you've got to sleep in the pig pen. And it's not this clean, simple process. I think a lot of men like the idea of leveling up. They love to think about being this big badass who is crushing life, making money, providing for their family, has big old biceps, is a leader in the community, is a great man of God, all this stuff. And I kind of like to imagine myself that there's this really large room that at any time any man can go into. And in the middle of the room, there's this chair. And as you get comfortable in the chair, the room starts to change around you, and it turns into like a live action movie. And you're watching yourself as the hero of the next level in your life. Maybe you are crushing your job. You've been promoted, or you're the head of a company. You start your own company. Maybe your fiance is smiling right after your proposal to her. Maybe it's a girl you're dating now, but in this future you're proposing and it's beautiful. Maybe your children are on the screen and they're succeeding in the classroom or playing under the Friday night lights, and you're in the crowd with a big smile on your face. Maybe you are strong and healthy and you have great vitality, biceps are big, abs look great. Maybe, I like this one, maybe you're sitting in a leather chair. Cigar in your hand, glass of whiskey neat sitting next to you, and you have just one of your favorite, most brilliant books in your hand. And you're looking out the sunset, and nothing but peace is seen on your face. You see the absolute best version of yourself, the you 2.0, if you may. You see that next level in your life. And as these images pass by and excitement builds in your soul, the room finally returns back to its original form. And there's a man standing at the door on the right, and there's a man standing at the door on the left. And the man on the right says, if you would like to go back to your old life, you're going to come through this door. And the man on the left says, if you want to make the life that you just saw from the chair, you've got to come through this door. And before you've gone into the room, you've heard from other men that there are some scary reports about people that go through the door on the left, the door that showed you this crazy, better version of yourself. And they say that even though it looks amazing from the chair, in actuality, it's not that way. These men say that, by just sticking to the right, you don't have to go through whatever terror possibly exists on the other side of that door on the left. It just seems too good to be true to just go through the door, and we've just heard these scary things, so just stick to the door on the right. I'm going to have to make a good book out of that. That sounds like a cool idea. So, you see, guys, the minute you walk through the door on the left, the man you saw in the chair is miles away, thousands of miles away. As you start down the path to becoming this next level up, you're going to find that life is far harder. You have to make immense sacrifices, getting up earlier, losing friends, becoming responsible for children, terrifying, being devoted to a singular woman, leaving the life of a party animal behind, embracing how bad you really are at certain tasks, feeling the suffering that your body has to go through with physical testing in the gym or elsewhere, fighting with the demons in your head that are constantly poking you and telling you to go back to the room and go back to the door to the right to the life you had before this. Leveling up is the fast track to difficulty, boys. You will not have less of it as you want to make higher strides in the world, especially when you are praying for it. This is what has come through my brain a lot over the last few days. Far too many of us are praying for God to help level us up. But we don't actually want that. We just want to say the words or make ourselves feel like we're doing something, in air quotes, to be better. We're not actually willing to undergo the difficulties required for that improvement that we're asking God for. God's up there saying, okay, you want to level up? Let's start with handling this new conflict that's just arisen in your life. Conflict comes into your life, and the first thing you do is curse God. Why are you doing this to me? I want to level up. How is it possible that I can level up when I'm going through hardship? I can't level up when things are difficult around me. I've got to focus on those things. All of you can smell the irony here. You think the circumstances are going to be pretty. No. Only fire makes the sword sharper. Only severe heat and the pounding of iron on iron builds the perfect sword, the perfect weapon. Immense suffering, immense heat, immense pressure. That's what we need to understand more deeply today. That when we ask God to level us up, to help us level up, real troubles are going to arise. But instead of getting angry at these things, you should be filled with profound joy. Not like this temporal, like earthly type joy, but like a divine joy. And what I mean by that is God has laid at your feet an opportunity to grow, to work on that leveling up. You asked to be a better man, here's your opportunity to practice. You should be praising the high heavens when this happens. Steadfastness is what breeds change, fellas. Steadfastness in spirit and in body. I love, or one of my favorite little sections of the Bible, if you will, is James 1, 2 through 4. And it says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." End quote. You are being given the latitude to become more when trials enter your life, guys. jump at this opportunity. Know that by being diligent, by fighting, you're going to become that level up that you saw in the chair. But it's no doubt going to be hard. The men who had told you before you got into the chair that there were reports of immense suffering if you went to that door on the left were absolutely right. The problem is that they are afraid of it. They don't realize that that suffering is a positive. It's good. It's beautiful, in fact. I'm going to ask all of you today, when you ask God to help you level up, when you want to become a greater man, expect hardship. When it shows up, smile at it, let it in the door, and then buckle up and let the fighting begin. You might walk out of that room bloody, a few broken bones, a not so small amount of scars, but you will have become the man that you saw in the chair. And that is a place of absolute and overwhelming peace. I pray that for all of you today listening to this, guys. I pray that God gives you the difficulties you need to grow, and that you are the man who's willing to face those things heroically. What a world we can live in when that becomes the norm for men. I love all of you. I got fired up thinking about all this today and talking to you about it, and that's my prayer for y'all today. God bless, be strong. Let's get after it, boys. See ya.